welcome to Synergy Bonus.
JoJo Mart is appropriate, though.
Kind of. There's nothing appropriate about JoJo Mart. More on that in a minute. We are Team Synergy. I am Vigorax. This is Thrict, and as ever, the one and only Spoony Paladin. We are, if you are not familiar...
Big spoon.
What's that? He's the small spoon?
Oh.
Save me!
I'm on a roll this week.
If you're not familiar, we're a bunch of guys that like to get drunk and talk about video games and board games and games of all sorts. Card games, on motorcycles. Don't do that. And tonight we're going to be talking to you about a relatively recent game that we've just discovered.
In the last year or so,
February 2016.
So it's still relatively...
Over a year old, a
still
year and
newish.
half.
About a year and a half, yeah.
Indie game called Stardew Valley. Developed by Concerned Ape. Real name is, what is it? It's Eric Barone.
And Chucklefish.
Published by Chucklefish, yep. This was it's on Windows, OS X, Linux, PS4, Xbox One, Switch. You can find this whatever your thing is.
Not on Switch yet, but hopefully soon.
Coming soon, like end of August kind of thing. As well as 4-player multiplayer is going to be like the next patch. But
that's weird.
I know. Well, it was intended for launch, but they didn't do it. Anyhow, getting back to what this game is.
I'm just going to go and hit people with my sword.
Stardew Valley is a farming simulator, a life simulator, and a time waster.
It's a huge love letter to Harvest Moon back before Harvest Moon sucked.
Quote from the director.
Yeah.
It's true.
Well, paraphrase, but yeah.
Harvest Moon was great on the Super Nintendo, on the Game Boy, on the Game Boy Advance, on the 64. PlayStation 1 is right about when it started to tank, and then
Let's not talk about the PS2 game at all.
Also, the next thing they're looking for is a cross-platform PS Vita thing, too, for this.
But
keep an eye out for it.
Harvest Moon just kind of declined, and it's like, hey, here's a Harvest Moon game. And it's like, no, they're not that good anymore.
Yeah, go fuck yourself, Tale of Two Towns.
Yeah.
Tale of Two Towns, Magical Melody.
Back to Nature was like the beginning of the end.
Beginning of the end. It
wasn't
a bad
really
game.
just a rehash of 64.
Yep.
Which is also Friends of Mineral Town, more Friends of Mineral Town.
And it does cross over into DS and DSQ.
We forgot something.
What?
What are you drinking?
I am drinking a Dirty Bastard Scottish Ale by Founders Brewing Company. It is delicious. It's slightly sweet and it's good. It's just really good. It's got a nice mouthfeel. It's delicious. It's not as smoky as what he's drinking, but this is delicious as well. What are you drinking, Trev?
I've got another Founders thing. We really like Founders in this particular group. This is the amazing Cosmeri.
Do it.
Cosmicki's highly acclaimed KBS
Do it in
Flavored
the
Stout.
voice.
Do it, lad!
Do it!
What voice? Alright. What we've got here is an Imperial Stout brewed with a massive amount of coffee and chocolates, then cave-aged in oak bourbon barrels for an entire year to make sure wonderful bourbon undertones come through to the finish. Makes your taste buds squeal with delight, much like your sister.
I think my ancestors are insulted.
I like the fact that you said oak, but it sure sounded like orc.
Orc barrels!
Orc barrels! And what are you drinking, Greg?
Ain't not that kind of orc!
Yes, you are.
I am drinking the counterpoint, Southern Tier's Imperial Pumking Ale. So it's technically an IPA, but not the kind of IPA that is a piece of shit.
For the record.
Imperial Pumpkin Ale, Imperial Pale Ale can go fuck itself, and the India Pale Ale can fuck itself.
In the world of pumpkin ales, Pumking is...
King?
Just about.
It's also a very, very local beer.
It's a very local beer, Southern Tier Brewing
Company.
Yep.
Western New York, now in the Finger Lakes region.
They have expanded. I guess they are moving somewhat south.
Okay.
I've heard that they were, so... it's definitely starting to get national recognition.
To the extent that my one friend that lives in San Diego, that's a beer girl, works at some of the breweries there. She knows of Southern Tier, and
so
very nice. Yeah,
be on the lookout for it if you like pumpkin.
And
be prepared to pay $8, but to counterpoint, this is an $8 bottle.
Yeah, it's a massive bottle in comparison.
Yeah. How many ounces is that?
1 pint, 6 fluid ounce, 22 ounces.
Yeah, so, yeah. Whereas this is just a pint. But,
It's worth the $8 if you like pumpkin beers, and pumpkin beers are the beer that makes me a snob.
At the end of the day, though, all these are very tasty beers.
like you said, this is very smoky. There's a lot of chocolate and everything. Drink it chilled. I made the mistake of doing it warm right now. It's still very good, but I've had it previously chilled, and it was much... on tap, rather.
I'm just kind of wishing you had cinnamon schnapps or something right now.
I don't, unfortunately. Oh, I know why.
Yeah, this is something that one of the bars that Doug and I go to,
It's
bartender
delicious.
was experimenting.
It's delicious.
This is before Angry Orchard, another brewing company that does ciders, released their mixed drink list. He was experimenting, and he basically what they called the Angry Balls.
Added a shot of Fireball to the Angry Orchard.
We called it the Loaded Angry.
Yes.
The same
We're
thing
a
we
little
did
more
it.
politically correct.
The same thing was we took a Leinenkugel Harvest Patch Shandy, which is their pumpkin shandy, and we added a shot of Fireball to it.
Posting recipes on this.
And it tasted just like pumpkin pie due to the extra cinnamon and spices.
It got to the point where I tried to drink it normally, and all I could taste still was that cinnamon taste. Like my taste buds were just programmed to want to taste that. But yeah,
It wasn't there.
it wasn't there.
Just like the later Harvest Moon games.
They weren't there either. But these are all
Very nice
wonderful
segue,
beers,
very nice
and
I will drink to that.
we will drink to that. If you've never played a Harvest Moon game, do yourself a favor and at least try it. There is a certain charm and appeal to these games. It's not for everyone. It really isn't for everyone, but like everyone who has
It's like
sat
Farmville,
down,
but not terrible.
Farmville basically took the formula for it, removed some of the components that people really liked, and then filed the serial numbers off.
So,
And then made it so you have to wait for your energy to recharge every 5 minutes.
spawning a host.
it's exactly that. It is a farming. It's a farming life simulator, so to speak. And all the games are pretty similar in story. Your grandfather died. He left you the farm.
Or your father, if it was A Wonderful Life.
Yeah. And
It's not a wonderful life at all.
No, specifically the ending for Wonderful Life. You die.
yeah.
Dark.
It is
No,
dark.
you
That's the whole point of a wonderful
Yeah, a Wonderful
life.
Life, in comparison to the normal ones where you have 3 years. A Wonderful Life goes through phases where here's the first 3 years. Now we're going to fast forward. Here's
Until
the
you're an
next
old man.
3 years. So you get married, you have a kid, your kid grows up, they go off to college,
And
and
you
you
die.
die.
That's life.
Isn't it wonderful?
But the main thing is
But if
to-
you'd never been born, there'd be a strip club in town. Oh wait, that's the movie.
the main thing
The town would actually be better off.
Yep.
All these
Economically
games-
speaking.
are your basic fundamentals of maintain the farm and cultivate social relationships with the townspeople.
Get married, have a kid. Don't die.
Don't die.
Well, that's one's hard.
You can harvest crops and you can.
Are we back on the Stardew Valley now, or is this still Harvest Moon?
They're all
The
about
entire
harvest.
genre.
The entire genre. And,
Don't hit the mayor in the head with an axe.
And you can also deal with livestock and whatnot.
Or your romantic rivals with an axe.
Stardew Valley has taken these basic
elements.
from.
Ingredients.
I am so sorry if I am just out there a little bit. I've had a lot to drink before filming
You're
this.
fine.
So if I'm slurring or whatnot, that's why.
You're good so far.
But they took these elements and then they just kind of cranked it. This game teaches rejection. Because in Harvest Moon, it's like, hey, you're going to this dance. You ask the girl that you're interested in, or guy if you're playing your girl, and they just go with you and whatnot, and it cultivates
You have
that
to have so
relationship.
many hearts to do it, actually.
Not in the Harvest Moons.
In Back to Nature, you did.
I never played Back to Nature.
You had to have at least green heart by the time you started out at black. So you had to get blue and then green heart.
I'm pretty sure your heart's always black.
Yeah.
But that was
that's
usually-
because no one's giving me a gift every day.
But that
talking to me.
But also, I think that festival in particular was in fall, and the game starts in spring.
Spring in this one as well.
Oh, I'll have to go. Look at this.
It was one of those challenge accepted. I will have a date by this spring dance.
Anyways,
Wish I had that
this
logic
game
in
though,
life.
Seriously.
it's like you're not expected to have your heart level up to that level for it. So
Again,
you go to
challenge accepted.
You go to talk to your love interest, and it's like, hey, can I dance with you? No, you're gross. Wait, what? And then proceed to ask every character, and you get turned the fuck down. Like, it teaches rejection
Turned down
hard.
for what?
Turned down for what? For being a fucking skeezy farmer.
Once again, challenge was accepted, and I actually succeeded in that because, well, there's this thing called guides.
I don't.
And also, that's just really, really creepy.
I don't.
Actually, the Concerned Ape was actually concerned that a lot of gamers, power gamers, min-maxers, and so on would do exactly that and just turn his game into a bunch of spreadsheets. Which leads us to the actual the cooking mechanic. He deliberately made it a money sink and non-rewarding. You get certain boosts and so on, so it unlocks other things in the game.
You can give them as gifts to people.
But there's nothing profitable towards cooking unless you're a completionist for exactly that reason, which is interesting.
I basically use cooking for boons. Cooking allows you to... Again, any gift that you make is better for people when you give them to them. But in Stardew Valley in particular, it can up your mining, it can up your speed, it can up your farming, it can just do lots of different things. I'm thinking you drink coffee, you run faster. It makes sense.
Does not work on the Egg Festival.
It does
I found
not.
that out.
It does not.
I tried to metagame.
But aside from that, this game has festivals and stuff. It's all about your relationship with the town and whatnot. And as the years go on, like the characters come to know you more.
And also to an extent the effect that one dedicated, industrious person can have on a village and a community.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you look at it, actually getting in, like, one of the characters that Doug kind of hates, and my guy's actually friends with.
His name is Shane.
He's kind of this dick. He's always an ass to you. He works at Joja Mart, which I
In
was
this-
referencing earlier. It's their Walmart. It's moved in. It's destroyed the local economy. He's stocking shelves at Joja Mart, and he goes to the bar and he drinks all night.
I remember that part of my life.
Yeah, he's depressed. When you go and actually be nice to him, he actually apologizes. I'm like, I'm sorry I was a jerk to you. No one's nice to me. I kind of hate life. There's actually an event where you go to his house and his aunt is checking on him and he's passed out drunk on the floor. And she says, you need to have a plan on life if you want to be here for much longer. He goes, I don't plan on being here much longer. And his goddaughter runs out of the room crying.
That is some dark shit. Oh my god.
Everything I've seen or heard about this game is really dark and twisted.
However, once you actually go and help the town, revitalize the town, you eventually drive Joja Mart out of the town. All the people who hate their jobs there, they find another job in the community. Like the town's musician that also works at Joja Mart. He actually starts developing all of his time to his band and it actually takes off. And they actually begin to actually enjoy their lives.
Moral of the story. Corporate big box stores suck the soul out of you.
And the thing is...
If we had to tell people that, then I feel really bad.
They still shop at Walmart.
And the thing is, cultivating the
not to.
relationships, it's knowing the characters and knowing what their likes are.
Give Shane beer even though he's an alcoholic.
Give any alcoholic liquor and they just love
Don't
you.
give the girl who lives with her alcoholic mother beer.
Imagine that.
Imagine that.
I was good with the trailer trash that had a lot.
And every character in this has a heart rating, even though they're not potential love.
It shows how friendly they are to you.
It shows how friendly they are, and it goes from 1 to 10. And once you get married, it goes up to 12 or 14.
It goes up to 10 if they're not an eligible bachelor, bachelorette.
But if you marry them, it goes to 14.
If it goes to 8 if they're an eligible bachelor, bachelorette.
Once you get them
married, it goes to 12.
Yep. And then you'll get a star drop. Star drops are items that basically increase your stamina.
There is a chance per day that you are at max rating, you will get one. It's just like the pig.
I should explain this real quick too, because we just kind of went right into it. Your character has a stamina meter. It's like this is all the stamina you have to get your shit done for the day, and it goes down for every time you hoe things, every time you cut down trees, every time you.
So don't go hoeing around town.
Use your pickaxe. Don't go hoeing.
Go fishing.
Go fishing. Anything like that. Food in this game replenishes it, and unlike any of the other Harvest Moon games, this gives you a meter. You can see exactly where you are. And the other one, it just had to be facial expressions. Or,
yeah, you go and see when he starts panting and falls on his butt. That means I'm about to collapse from exhaustion. I need to eat something or I'm done for this.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Another thing that made this game stand out from other things in the genre You actually get to customize your character.
You do.
Yep.
Really? My blue guy, that's what you went with for... Okay.
You went for with the blue guy.
Yeah, but you didn't have to post it on... Okay.
Hey, it could be better. You could be this.
Oh! Ouch.
Hey, it's basically me. Oh shit, that's a picture of me with the fedora.
Yes, it is.
Okay, I'll go back to the farmer hat that my dad wears.
Please do. Anyhow, a customizable character, which the other things, particularly Harvest Moon, don't have.
And it's very true. You can choose between a dog and a cat for a pet.
Always a dog.
I chose the cat because it's so aloof. It's just great.
The dog is equally aloof. He just doesn't care as long as you go and pet him once a day and you fill his water bowl. He acts like the fucking cat.
Yeah. What?
That's a farm dog for you.
Oh.
I'm sorry, you don't know how farm dogs are. They don't give a rat's ass.
That's about anything.
But you can go... Greg mentioned that there's a health meter in this too. The nice part
Which is something they took from Rune Factory.
Rune Factory, which is a fantasy Harvest Moon.
Yep.
It had potential. It just dropped the ball.
I didn't really like
He said he drew from Harvest Moon, Rune Factory, Terraria,
Just all these different things.
a bit from Minecraft.
But like when you go into the mines to harvest ore, especially in the winter time, because that's your primary
That's when I did a lot of fishing.
cash crop.
It was something about the mines and the dungeons. They're all randomly generated.
Not true.
Not true.
There is a specific dungeon
the
that is
skull dungeon.
all randomly
Random.
generated. The other ones, there is
It has
actually
an infinite amount of levels, and it's all randomly generated. The normal mine is all it's predetermined. There are enemies in there, and you get swords, hammers, slingshots to just.
I've never used the slingshot.
It's much harder on the PS4 than it is on the computer.
And it sucks on the computer.
You have to have enough Deku nuts and just
Well,
bombs,
actually, yeah,
however, are
like,
awesome.
Deku seeds. But
you do need actually certain.
Yeah, you actually have to create ammunition for it. Using stone, which is already a resource used for building.
But as Trav said, some people were turning this into a spreadsheet simulator.
basically,
I'm not playing Crusader Kings today.
At the start of the season, since I'm actually on year 3 on mine, I'm like, okay,
which is the end of the game, incidentally.
is it?
Spring of year 3 is when your grandfather passes judgment on you. Oh god, that got kind of weird.
By the way, he passed judgment and he gave me a gift.
Now,
If you have a high enough score, he gives you 1,000,000 gold, so why?
the game is open-ended, so you can do all of the side quests and everything.
Basically, you can become quote-unquote a harvest master like in Harvest Moon.
whenever you want to. But the actual
End of the
game,
year
the
is
actual end of the thing is
Spring
year 3.
year 3.
Yep.
The first of spring.
Now, there's new endgame content coming. What that is, we don't know yet.
I was going somewhere with this and you just killed it.
Just like me in a joke.
Oh, spreadsheet simulators and whatnot. So I don't like to look at guides and stuff unless it's like, okay, what does this person want, etc., etc.
You know I do not believe in spoilers.
Like, it's like, okay, I want to cultivate this relationship. They love this, so how do I get this? And it's like that. But what I'm like is, what is the biggest cash seller for me this season? And it's like, oh, it's going to be this. So
The one that has a couple of days extra growth time and then continuously generates crops throughout the season. So it's going to be corn, tomatoes, something like that. It's just
cauliflower in spring. And also turnips.
Yep.
Turnips are every 4 days.
Parsnips.
Cauliflower is like every 12 to
Spring
14
beans.
days. No, cauliflower will be your biggest cash crop. I didn't.
I'm just thinking for continuous rotation.
For continuous rotation, yes, but like for the biggest
Oh, yeah.
bang for your buck, I had a ton of rows of cauliflower, and it just did it. And this game has some weird random events.
Dinosaurs.
Hey, I lost my lucky pair of underwear. I'd really appreciate it if you could find them very quickly and be quiet about it.
And when you-
This is from the town's mayor, who's never had anyone run against him in 20 years. It's at one of the local female village members' houses in her bedroom.
And
he goes,
when you-
now I know why those were there. I'd appreciate it if you kept this quiet.
And when you cultivate both of their relationships and you go to town at a certain time, you hear them talking about maybe we should make our relationship public. And the mayor's like, no, what will the people think? Well, the people will think that you're a respectable person instead of just going around and sleeping with this person.
What are you doing in there? I'm gonna tell everyone.
You assume that she's the only one he's having relations
It's true,
with.
I did.
Usually when you have a guy who's like, I don't want to take it public, what'll people think? It's because you're not the only one he's
That's
spending his
true.
evening
Yeah,
with.
and she always comments at the bar that Cliff, the town blacksmith, is always looking at her, but he never says anything. But then again, Cliff is the town introverted blacksmith.
Clint, I think.
Clint,
his name
yeah.
is.
I'm thinking Cliff from Harvest Moon.
Harvest Moon.
Which, I'm sorry for you, Cliff, but no, you will never get with Annie.
The events in these games are pretty zany and they're fun.
Was that the other day that happened? A witch came and turned your chickens into void chickens?
It turned one of my
Eggs
gave
into
me
a void
a
egg.
void egg, and I'm like, okay, I'll put this in the incubator. I got this black Satan chicken out of it. I'm like,
Glowing
okay,
red eye.
what does it do? It gives me these poison eggs. Well, what can I do aside from get more devil chickens? Well, I can make poison mayonnaise.
Wow.
Okay.
Kroger or Krogel,
I know.
he likes it. But, no, you just got the
say-
one. I'm working on building a coop full of devil chickens.
So you can poison the hobo, I'm sure of it.
No, the hobo's my friend. He was my first friend.
Did you give him a shotgun?
No, because there are no guns.
How about a lawnmower?
I gave him a sword.
I've had meteorites strike my my farm, and just there's a lot of random. Like Trav said, there's dinosaurs that you can get apparently.
Yeah, you can get a dinosaur for your farm. This is not your grandfather's
You just lays
farm
eggs.
simulator.
You can have rabbits that give you rabbit's feet that are lucky, but they aren't.
Still have their feet.
Yes.
Yeah, it's weird. It is very weird. I started this weird quest. I don't know where it's going yet, but like it's like
Mr. Q.
I took some batteries that I got, and I went down to this this tunnel, and I'm like, oh, it requires batteries, so I put the batteries in. Hey, if you found this, then you're pretty resourceful. I need you to leave this rainbow shell on the train tracks at this time.
It unlocked the casino.
I haven't been to the casino, so
The casino's in where Sandy's shop is. It's in the back.
I know it was Mr. Q, but like,
Yeah.
it's just it was a very weird thing, not knowing what it was.
Once you get through there and you go into the back of the shop to the casino, you've completed the question.
But like, I mean, this game it really is zany. It's very charming, and
It takes me back to like 6th grade.
it takes me back to when I was
They
in
say it's a
school.
time killer, but it's strangely addictive and compelling.
It is.
Welcome to Harvest Moon.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I grew up on a farm, and when my friend Alex first introduced Harvest Moon to me, I thought, this game is stupid. I already live on a farm. I fucking love Harvest Moon. However, fuck Farmville.
Yeah, fuck Farmville. This game I really would recommend to anyone who wants to get into this type of game, or is just looking for something different.
Mm-hmm.
The only other
I likened it unto Minecraft with a plot, basically.
Most of the actual appeal of the game, because the farming mechanic, that's just simple math. It's actually the characterization of getting to know the members of the village and seeing their dynamics, becoming friends, and just seeing how their life plays out. It's kind of like The Sims. Before
unlike
The Sims occurred.
I live in a small farming town. This is what I actually do
Yeah, I
in my
know.
life, so I don't need a game for this.
Yeah, I know.
unlike Harvest Moon, this game actually allows you to really build your farm with like your coops and stuff. Like in the other ones, it's like everything's kind of predetermined. This, you can pick out your plots of land to where you put stuff and whatnot.
You can even choose the different types of farms. to
Yes,
start out.
they actually implemented in a patch.
1.1.
And I was reading actually what it does. The river farm has fishing results. The forest farm that has regenerating hardwood and normal wood.
Oh, that's cool.
But you're going for both of these, you lose that untillable land.
Ew.
The rock farm, like the more mountainous one, mine.
Yeah.
But once again, you lose that untillable land.
But
And
what's
then
the deal with the monster one?
At night, monsters show up and wreck your shit.
What's the point of that?
Minecraft.
They scale to your level, so hey, if you want to stay out till 2 o'clock in the morning fighting for your life, go and stay out till 2 o'clock in the morning fighting for your life.
But then the freaking creepers came.
This is the most fun I've had with this sort of game. Oh, you broke Greg. You broke him pretty bad. I'm not gonna lie.
Link to that video below.
You kind of broke me for a second there.
I would have hurt him.
Cute.
I have a gun. I can hurt him.
What was I saying?
I
What
don't
did
know.
you do to me, Trev? Oh my god. It's
don't-
not helping that I'm drinking. Oh my god.
Like, I can seriously go and get my gun and shoot
I
We have
him.
strange events. What do the different farms do?
Oh.
Monsters until 4 a.m.
We were mentioning like these games were just kind of dying off and just not as good up until this point.
Like the last hurrah was the DS era.
Yeah. There was another game I played right before this, because I played this game right when it first came out, and I loved it, and I just stopped playing all of a
Whereas
sudden.
I was skeptical until about a month ago,
Yeah.
just because I'm sitting here going, "You're
It's-
playing Harvest Moon.
it's not
Congratulations! I've been playing this series for a while."
I played for about 2 hours just to know what I was talking about.
I,
This is not my cup of tea.
He's a Philistine.
I bought this game on the PS4 after playing it on Steam, and I'm like, hey, I can play it on my big TV with the controller and whatnot, and the controls were just wrong. They were so wrong, and I'm like, nope, not touching this. I wasted some money. And when Greg actually picked it up, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to go back and see if they patched it. They fixed it so I can use my D-pad with the menus and not have to worry about...
Still have an easier time with fishing than I do on the PC.
Actually, I have an easier time on the PC than on the PS4.
Because when I
With
watch...
clicking the mouse, it's a lot easier than clicking that square button.
Okay.
The only other game that I played that was like this, that's not Harvest Moon or Rune Factory, which is still Natsume, is...
Which it's not even Natsume. Natsume does the localization. It's actually Marvelous.
Which is Story of Seasons, which was... I called it the successor to Harvest Moon,
That's where it is.
and it was
what
really...
this is.
It was...
No, literally, Story of Seasons is the same. Is the Harvest Moon team working on something new?
Yeah, and this is basically the same avenue.
Story of Seasons was fantastic. It was really good, and it surprised me. And then Stardew Valley came out, and it's like, oh my god, this game is that,
but
better.
Which
and
is,
I didn't know that. And like,
which is interesting because Story of Seasons, as I said, had a professional design team on it. Stardew Valley was put together, as we said, it's an indie game.
One dev.
Concerned Ape, one dev over the course of 4 years as a labor of love, built it from the ground up, wrote all the music, did all that himself.
Also,
very similar to how Undertale was.
In his free time when he wasn't being an usher at a movie theater.
Also, like, this game teaches, like I said earlier on, it teaches rejection and whatnot.
It's also got the darker aspects of just a town's
Small
life.
town, yeah.
I'm thinking back to the original Harvest Moon. I wanted to see how much I could mess with the people.
I got divorced.
I married the mayor's daughter, Mary.
Yep. Harvest,
And
the
then-
original one.
Yep, and then I just started
I'm
flirting
going
with
home
other-
to mother.
I'm going home to mother! You know, just...
You married the church girl, the ultra pious church
That's
girl.
what I
You
did.
spend all night at the bar talking to other women until she leaves you and sit there going, all right.
Now, the thing is with this, they actually implemented in one of the more recent patches actual divorce, where you can actually guess, I can get a divorce. And, like, it shows the after effects of this. It's like, I thought we had something, I had this, blah, blah, blah.
Even
if you
more-
had kids, the kids would stay with you, but you can, like, I believe it pay the witch or something to say, I don't want kids. And she poofs them into doves, which is really messed
What's even more screwed up is you can pay the witch to wipe your ex-wife's mind of you two ever being married so you can marry her again.
Yeah.
This is in the game, but Concerned Ape deliberately made the choice to not include butchery as an option for money and all that because he wanted you to develop a real relationship and name your animals.
Oh, I just have to
But you
random
can
button.
poof your kids out of existence.
They turn.
You
Wait.
can poof your kids out of existence.
They're all doves now. If you've made a mistake,
She
they're
teleported-
doves now.
She teleported them to her gingerbread house. I'm sure of it. Their gourmet meal.
I was going with the Bob
She
Ross
Bob Ross
joke
it.
there. Have you made mistakes? They're
There are no
doves now.
mistakes.
They're all doves.
And I
now.
think
Only
after you
happy
make the
accidents.
kids doves, you can no longer have kids.
Oh, you can never reverse that decision.
No, you can't. I don't know if you can have more kids after that. Oh my god. Oh, I'm just thinking of the levels of messed upness. Okay, you marry this chick. You have kids. You divorce her. You make your kids doves. You wipe her memory. You marry her again. You have kids.
Or you marry someone
make
else.
them doves.
The part that concerns me is that you're only wiping your wife's memory of your relationship. What about the rest
No
of the
one
town?
else's.
What about your in-laws?
Where did my grandkids go, by the way?
Oh god, like there's stuff that there's definitely to be experimenting.
Don't worry, Peggy. That was just another drunken hallucination.
You're talking about marrying children, aren't you?
No. Peg, the alcoholic.
Oh.
Which is
I was thinking about Married with Children because in Married with Children, this is a kind of a sad thing. The actress that plays Peggy Bundy, I can't think of her name.
Yeah, she was on Sons of Anarchy.
And she was Leela in Futurama. I can't think of her name. Oh, Katie Seagal. That's what it is. She was pregnant during Married with Children. So they wrote the end of the script and then she miscarried. So they had to play it off as it was just all a dream or something like that. I'm like, that is horrible. That is so horrible. So when she got pregnant again, they just
No,
we're not doing that again. That's let's end on a happy note.
I don't have a happy note after that.
Well, we've got this series of games now. We've had this. We've had Stardew Valley. It comes out. It's a love story to an older series of games that's kind of dying. On the same note, as I brought up earlier, we also have Undertale, which I kind of am not a fan of the fandom for it, but it's a
the game itself is good.
Oh, the game is amazing. The music is awesome. It's also a love story to Earthbound. So we do have this series coming out. No, not series. We have this trend now for games to come out
They're
where
love letters,
they're
too.
love letters to games back from the Super Nintendo era.
We have a trend right now where indie developers are putting out way better games than professional companies.
That's because AAA means jack shit. Because
Shovel Knight, Undertale.
Hey, here we have Mass Effect Andromeda. Look, it's a potato that's a person's face. And then, hey, here's what we have: a couple of independent Slavs from Poland making The Witcher 3.
Mass Effect Andromeda, the game that was so bad it killed a company.
Kill the studio, didn't kill
Speaking
the company.
of love
It's EA.
letters-
It refuses to die.
Love letters. There's a company, they've been working on this game for 3 years, and I think Bloodstain. That's Igarashi, but
Yeah.
Ukulele.
Ukulele. I'm thinking Time Spinner. Time Spinner is only, I think, a couple people, and he's been working very diligently. It's coming out this year, and I'm excited. I've written on Facebook that I'm gonna just call off work and play your game, and we'd love to hear that.
On the other hand, Mighty Number 9.
Mighty Number 9 was not a love letter. It was just a quick.
Mighty Number 9 is what happens when you go, hey, we have stretch goals we have to meet. Fuck.
Oh, that's
Will at the end?
no, that is settlement. That they did not
Sediment.
filter that at all.
Oh.
That is some bad.
Oh, Founders, we love you, but way to drop the ball.
I foresee a tweet or something from Founders that's going to say, delete that shit, bitch.
Anyways, if
The
you
KFC tweet.
if you have played Stardew Valley, what do you think of it?
Any interesting events that really made an impression?
Yeah.
on you?
Thumbs up if you went with Abby. Thumbs down if you went with Haley.
If you've never played this, but you've played Harvest Moon, what do you think about?
Also, one of the things that we
Stardew
glossed
Valley.
over that they actually did put into this. If you're a dude, you can marry a dude. If you're a chick, you
Yeah.
can marry a chick.
Yeah.
You just don't have a kid. You adopt.
Yeah, they put in same-sex marriage, which is pretty neat.
Actually, for
They're all
Alex,
doves.
Alex, the town jock, I forget George's grandfather. If you don't have max hearts with George, his old man grandfather who lives in a wheelchair, he goes, I'm not really sure about this, a man marrying another man. If you actually max out your relationship with his grandfather, he goes, I had some reservations at first, but you make my grandson happy. I'm okay with this. It's that's kind of a heartwarming moment. It's okay, go back to watching TV and asking the doctor how much longer you have to live.
This
That's
game.
sad.
I mean, this game has really just expanded the genre. I mean, if you've never played this type of genre, at least give Stardew Valley a try. It might change your mind. Unfortunately, if you play Stardew Valley and like it and you want to try some of the other things, you might be disappointed by the other things because this sets the bar pretty damn high.
A Wonderful Life will be okay if you can get the GameCube copy for Harvest Moon. Don't get the PS2 re-release because there's so much load errors and just load time.
And you know what that? Everyone, have a good night, and we look forward to your comments, and we'll see you next time.
Don't forget to like us, give a comment down below if you got something like this, and good night and good gaming.